Hey guys, today I'm going to be trying some stuff from Arteza, which they very kindly sent to me. So we got two sizes of wooden panels. I wanted to check out the different thickness to see if I had a preference there. Then a pack of 12 premium watercolor brushes. I already have the miniature brush set, so I was curious to see if these are nicer quality. And then lastly, I got a pack of these 12 miniature round stretched canvases. I think they'll be really fun to paint on. So I'll definitely let you guys know my first impressions of all of these as I go. Spoiler, I have very few complaints. The wood panels are unfinished, so I'll need to prime those before using them, but they look like very nice quality, even right out of the pack. I also really like the brushes. This is a watercolor pack, but I plan on using most of them for oil paint since I prefer softer brushes for that. But the length is perfect. The bristles are soft and I haven't noticed any shedding yet, and I'm really happy with the variety. There's a good mix of rounds, flats, and then a few angled brushes, which I think will be really great for gouache. For the round stretch canvases, they're really cute and I think they'll be super fun to paint on, and they're ready to paint on. Normally I do an extra layer of gesso before getting started, but for this I'm going to use them straight out of the package. My only complaint on these so far are the backs. Some of them are really messy looking, probably around half, but I think I'll be able to fix that with a little bit of work. For prepping the wooden panels, I'm using Liquitex Professional Gesso. I've also taped off the edges with some masking tape since I want to try to keep the wooden edges. And then I'm just using a soft brush for this. I did 3 layers on each, sanding lightly in between and after the last layer, making sure to wear a mask while sanding. Then all that's left to do is to get ready to paint. And you can hear Bo typing while I'm working. Sharing an office is definitely kind of weird sometimes. So I got out my oil palette and got some color on it. I'm not going to do a full underpainting really, but I am going to do a base color. I don't normally do this, but I wanted to try it out. It's supposed to make it easier to get started and help with feeling like you need to cover every inch of the canvas. I'm not sure if I like it, but it's nice to try new things. This little round painting ended up being my favorite from the batch. Honestly, I really struggled with the other two, changed my mind, and had to move things so many times. But I guess that's just how it goes sometimes. It's not always a super smooth process, and maybe it's because I can kind of feel an art block coming, but I really felt like I had to fight with these other two portraits. I think a big part of it is I'm trying to push myself when it comes to what I draw. So these are definitely angles that I struggle with, and you'll be able to see what I mean in a bit. After getting my sketches down, I went straight in on this little snake. Try not to blend at all on this one. I really want to work on not over blending. The blue layer also isn't quite dry yet. I really like how it mixed with what I'm putting down. It made it feel a little bit like working with gouache. For this, I'm using the number 6 flat brush, and I'm really enjoying it. I think it ended up being the brush I used the most often for these paintings. And it's definitely going to be one of my go-to brushes for oil painting. So these canvases were pretty nice to paint on. It has a good amount of texture to it. If you prefer a smoother surface to work with, I think one layer of gesso and a good sand would probably make it perfect for you. But I think I actually like them as is. Plus the 4-inch size is just really cute. I think sometime soon I'll actually do a batch of these small oil paintings using these. Now on to those portraits on the 2 wooden panels. I'm starting with the number 12 cat's tongue. This brush is a bit firmer than the other ones, but it still holds a good amount of paint. I like that I can get both super thin lines and wider brush strokes. I'm going in with the highlights first on this one and then doing the darker shadows. But honestly, I reworked this face so many times. All of this is going to be covered up. Looking at it in the video now, it doesn't look nearly as bad as I felt like it did, but I was really hating it so much at the time. The lighting gets a little weird for a bit since I ended up painting pretty late, but for the hair I switched to the number 18 flat brush, and it's so smooth, the strokes felt so nice. And then I ended up repainting over the whole face for the first time and smudge out the eye also for the first time. I repaint that eye so many times. I really struggle with eye placement on side profiles, but I kind of like this messy smudge look of it where it is here. But I ended up working on it a bunch off of camera and ended up blending almost all of it out. Then this is where we started on the second day. Like I said, I did so much blending off camera. I really need to work on that, but I just went ahead and filled in the background as kind of a warm-up before getting started on the second portrait. The first one isn't finished yet, but I feel like I really needed a break from it to figure out how to fix it. So the first thing on the second portrait, I needed to darken up the sketch because I could barely see it and it was kind of wonky anyways. Then I went straight in with painting in the outline. already seeing all the mistakes now, but convincing myself that I will fix it as I go and to trust the process. After getting the base colors down, I decided it was too far off and needed big changes, so I took a few pictures of both with my iPad and then put them into Procreate to draw over them. Around this time, I actually dropped my Apple Pencil into my mineral spirits, which was terrifying, but it was fine. After that, I moved the eyes a lot. The angle I'm trying to paint is pretty tilted and kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of a weird pose, but I really wanted to try and get it right. You have to challenge yourself to grow right, even if it means making kind of not great art for a little bit. After that, I completely cleaned off my palette for a fresh start and going a different way color-wise. Something about mixing oil paint is so relaxing, it's so nice. Then I filled everything in with the new colors and started liking it a lot more. There's still some issues to work on later, but it's definitely getting closer. Now back to the first portrait to fix the mistakes there. I did some really extreme changes on this one. I really wanted to push the pose. Even though it was mostly okay before, it wasn't doing what I was hoping. So I moved the bottom half of the face up quite a bit and really moved her body back so you can see that she is really leaning forward. Then I filled in over the background areas on the nose and the back and brought that color up over the whole skin area so it matched. Then I had to cover the old chin and shoulder with the background color. At this point, I started switching between the two paintings quite a lot. I felt like this made it easier to see the mistakes I was making. And now we're getting close to where I ended up stopping. I'll have to wait for them to dry completely before I can do more. But overall, I really like these panels. Since you have to prep them yourself, as long as you know kind of what you'll like, I think you'll get a surface that is what you want. If you're looking for something that's ready to go though, these might not be for you. But honestly, I really like prepping my own surfaces. It's relaxing and kind of makes me feel like a real artist in some kind of silly way. But I definitely will be using all of these more, and the brushes are going to be used a lot, I can already tell. I was really impressed with them. I can't wait to try them out with watercolor and gouache. But I will see you soon for the next video. There will be links to the stuff I tried out in the description if you want to check anything out. Thanks again to Arteza for letting me try out this stuff. As always, let me know if you have any video requests, and bye!